Oh, look at that, another chapter in Nixus's family. Chapter 13. The train pulled to the Crystal Empire station, and billowing clouds of steam. Ponies from all over Equestria pulled out of the cars, eager to set hoof on new territory, greeting friends and loved ones, bustling back and forth on their way to meet family or conduct business. Out of this teeming mass of greetings and farewells came a middle-aged unicorn couple. The female was a pale lavender, with a purple and white mane and a three-star cutie mark. The male, a darker blue and blue, with two crescent moons. The male was dragging a sizable stack of suitcases beside him, struggling to levitate his magic. You know, I still think we should have let them know we were coming, he said. It could cause problems showing up unexpected. You are talking about our children, remember? The mayor replied. Our son and daughter. If we did tell them in advance, he would spend the entire time spiraling to a tizzy. And he would probably forget to mention it until the last minute anyway. The stallion could see it, rolling his eyes. His wife kissed him. Now that's hardly fair, Nightlight. He falls out of touch just one time, and while on tour of duty no less, and no pony lets him forget it. He came back engaged, Velvet, Nightlight pointed out, to a princess. That might have justified a card or two, at least. As if you didn't know they were dating back when she was our babysitter and our youngest, Velvet teased. Geez, you just spend all your time squinting through a telescope. My, isn't this place sparkly? Twilight and Shiny's parents had arrived at the Crystal Empire. It had taken long for the news, or the pictures of Nyx, to spread out to Caroline and the rest of Equestria. True to Twilight's precautions, the little that they had discovered, Littlehead's Trons and journals, were giving the historians fits. Many were insisting that the journals had to be fakes. I personally am agreeing with that. Some had claimed that it was everything from a scam by the Crystal Empire to a long forgotten prank by Celestia. As for the common pony on the street, well, it was hard to gauge the reaction, but Twilight Velvet and Nightlight had raised both Shining Armor and Twilight Sparkle, and when their children were involved, they could smell trouble the way other ponies could smell gasoline. The moment that they had clapped eyes in the first news article, they dropped everything, pulled their luggage out of storage, and boarded the next train to the Crystal Empire. Some ponies were messing with their children, and Maker had mercy on them when Pama and Papa showed up. Heavens, I wasn't expecting it to be this brisk, Velvet said, shivering from the wind, moved some errant snow up onto the platform. A shawl levitated over her shoulders. Thank you, dear, she said. There must be some way to get into the palace from here besides walking. She peered up and down the hallway for a clue. You left to a palace? A voice called out. Two Caroline ponies turned and saw a stocky crystal pony hauling a sleigh at the end of the concourse. 2 bits extra for the luggage, he said, eyeing the pyramid of suitcases. Of course, perfect, Velvet said. Velvet paid the stallion while her husband loaded their luggage. They boarded, and the sleigh was soon moving along on a brisk trot. Bundle up those blankets for your host, the sleigh pony said. It's a few minutes' ride. No sense of getting frostbite. The two happily complied. Like the thing, a pony went on as he tried to snow. You two are the second fare to the palace this month. A short while later, Nyx heard a commotion out by the front door of the royal chambers. It sounded like the butler was having a bit of a word with someone. She came trotting to the foyer to find a butler and two flustered-looking guards in the middle of a discussion with two older ponies. Not any fair, Nyx might have recognized them under other circumstances. Twilight had shown her photographs of Twilight's mother and father, Nyx's grandparents, and told her a little bit about them. Past few days, however, had been packed with strange ponies with cameras, running up and shouting as they went to ask a few questions, snapping flashbulbs at every pony's face. At the moment, these two ponies were decked out in sunglasses, odd floral print garb, and touristy hats. The mayor was arguing machine gun style with the guards, and the butler waving about a notepad. The stallion had a cigarette holder in his teeth, and most alarming of all, was carrying an enormous camera around his neck. Oh, is that Ralph guy from, you know, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? I do have got my pressing up. Inside the camera, Nyx came to a screeching halt. The pony couple looked up and saw her. The tableau froze for a previous of moments when the mayor lit up with a grin. Oh, there she is! Quick! Tyler, take a picture! The stallion immediately sat and touched his camera. Mom! Nixie wasted a second. She spun him out for a second and bolted as if T-Rex, Discord, and Chrysalis were at her heels. For Twilight Velvet's part, their little encounter was something of empathy. When the offensive Nightmare moves Advent on, she had been torn. The reascendance of Equestria's most perilous enemy, this time in a body all her own, had been a terrifying shock to every pony. She and Nightlight being no exception. Then come the confusing abdication and all events around it. Then the shock of learning, by parcel post no less, that her daughter had adopted the refold, was that word? Nightmare Moon. I really don't think Velvet would care. But then again, Winter Bell showed how little she cared, and that was a good story. First, Velvet and Nightlight had protested vehemently. They naturally, sensibly, had feared for Twilight Sparkle's safety, meaning her free will, and sanity. Naturally, sensibly, begged Twilight to reconsider. To go could help, my princesses handled the wayward Nightmare foal. Twilight's emphatic and lively reply had shocked them both. The paces long letter, poor little Spike, he must have been tuckered out for sending so many scrawls. She described all the events that had led to Nyx's existence and condition, and calmly, but firmly, made it clear that Nyx was her daughter now, and she would brook no interference on that. Surprised and subdued, they had kept their silence since then, and, painfully, their distance. Twilight Velvet's worries had not vanished, though. Her children, her babies, had been tricked and hurt before. The entire trick to the Crystal Empire, that nagging, worrying voice in the back of her head, the one that kept whispering, what was a trick? What was a scheme by Nightmare Moon? Had it been silent for a moment? That instant, she realized the nagging, fearful voice that compared her. At the moment, it caught the eyes of the tiny, wide-eyed little black filly. A second voice came roaring up behind the first. Chased down back the valley of the line and gleefully stomped in the mud. I'm a grandma. Oh my, there she is. Quick, Nightlight, take a picture. Again, not really seeing Velvet doing that. Mistrusting Nyx and needing time. Her glee was at this unexpected realization was only matched by the sudden pang when the filly, her granddaughter, took one look at her and bolted in a panic, yelling for her mother. What? Was it something I said? She asked, stung. Nightlight lowered his camera, bemused. A moment later, Shining Armor appeared with Twilight close behind. Nyx was there too, half hiding behind her mother's tail and staring suspiciously at the intruders. Shining Armor was the first to speak up. All right, will somebody tell me what... Mom? Dad? What are you doing here? And what's with the get-up? Twilight blurted out, thinking of their touristy kits. She thought Rarity's parents were bad. Well, we are on vacation, kiddo, Nightlight said, so it's only fair to give the natives advance warning. He let loose an incredibly canned sound and laughed. His children rolled their eyes. It was the same as always. Their father, the astronomer, who thought he was a comedian. Shining Armor guarded the two guards. He laid in. My father asked why you broke orders and brought two strange points to the royal chambers, he said. The guards looked mortified, but kept a stiff upper lip. They could hardly be blamed. Word had gotten around that what had happened when the consort princess's sister had arrived. No pony in the royal guard had been looking forward to being there if his mother ever showed up. We thought we recognized them for your family photos, sir. They were rather forcefully persuasive. Well, except whatever discipline... No, you don't get it. Shining Armor muttered. I know my parents. Believe me, they've not made a guard force yet that can make either of them veer off. I still have no idea how they got past the portcullis on my first weekend. Never mind. Just go back to your patrol. Relieved, the two guys saluted to be a retreat. Waldorf, could you go get some tea for everyone? Sir, my parents could stand some refreshment after a long trip. The butler made a cursory bow and glided off. Oh, I do send someone for our luggage. It's out on the curb. Twilight Velvet called after him. They stared at the two very strange ponies from behind their mother. Who are they? She asked Twilight in a stage whisper. Twilight Visitor smiled. Nyx, these are my parents, she said. Our parents, Shining Armor chieftain. Which makes them your grandmother and grandfather, Twilight finished. Nyx blinked in surprise, then nervously bit her lip. Grandparents? That wasn't very confidence building. She didn't have any experience with grandparents, except with Granny Smith, and less than that bound bear. She stepped up beside Twilight, looking at Velvet and Nightlight warily. What am I supposed to do? She asked her mother. Twilight's bemused look protested. I never had a grandmother or grandfather. I don't know this stuff. Twilight Velvet's feather smile wide. Well, sweet, these will return as you come over and say, Hi, Grandma and Grandpa, and give your grandparents a hug, she said. Go on, silly, Twilight said, giving her daughter a nudge. Hesitantly at first, but more in confidence, Nix crossed the space between herself and the two new ponies in her life. Hello, Grandma and Grandpa, she said obediently. To her astonishment, the two immediately closed in and folded her a double hug, nestling her warmly. She squeaked in surprise and stiffened. Then, the next instant, relaxed and lay to the affectionate embrace. A warm glow lighted her up inside. I think I like having grandparents, she said. He chuckled at this. Twilight Velvet pulled back and regarded her. A granddaughter, she said, voice full of satisfaction. At long last I have a granddaughter. Then she sighed with her daughter, though I expected her to be preceded by a few other things. Marriage, engagement, an actual fiancé. Twilight's eyebrows tabled at this particular. What am I, an old maid? She snarked. Just because I haven't met a special sun pony yet. I'm saying, dear, it does usually come in that order. Twilight Velvet pointed out. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby carrots. And the diapers. That I quit. Can't blame me for skipping that part of things, Pumpkin. You, Nix interjected. Well, are you seeing anybody, dear? Twilight Velvet said. It would be nice to know. Mom, Twilight said. We're working on it, Nix said in a miffed tone. Twilight saw her own look. Nix! Oh, you are you? Nightlight said, cocking down an eyebrow. Um, I just gotta say, ignoring the fact that I do ship Twilight with Last Century because I want Starburst, I just want to point this out that technically Twilight doesn't need a husband to take care of Nyx. She could be a single mother if that is her choice. Fuck you, thick. Nyx nodded. There are a couple points she likes, Nixie said Ellie. She likes me some Macintosh. At least she likes watching him working when she thinks nobody's looking. Nyx! A blush rose to Twilight Sparkle's cheeks. Oh, is that so? Nightlight grinned. Nyx nodded again severely. But I think she likes Mr. Tiny Carrot better. And how do we know that? Shining Armor asked. Because whenever he picks up a book at the library, his voice gets all funny and she gets all goofy and flutters her eyelashes and stuff. Nyx put action to words, fluttering her eyelashes like she'd seen her mother do. Nyx! Twilight's feet was raised red now. What? My, it looks like Twilight may be the first to send us daily photos on a heartwarming day after all. Twilight Velvet teased. You're falling behind, Shiny. Shining Armor cocked an eyebrow. Wasn't aware we were in a race, he said dryly. All who was in what race? Said a voice behind him. Shiny turned and looked, keen for the sight to see what all the fuss in the foyer was about. Another round of hugs and greetings ensued. What was this about us falling behind? Mother and father seem to think that Twilight and I are in a competition, Shiny said. The Happy Nuclear Family Hoof Race. First one to the finish line has 2.5 foals, 1.5 dogs, and one garage cottage in the suburbs. So, are we winning? Keynes asked, amused. It's a tie so far in points, Nightlight said. Shiny got us a daughter-in-law, but Twilight came through with the first grandchild. He paused. Unless you have some news. Keynes gave a once smile. No royal heir just yet. Yeah, Keynes, just be prepared for the annoying complainers who go, oh, look at her, she's so powerful. Well, that makes sense. Her mother and father happen to be very powerful magical people. That makes sense. It's a toy marketing gimmick! Well, not really when you step back and think about it. It's something that we all saw coming, so toy marketing gimmick! No, it isn't. It's just a thing that happens toy marketing. Oh! God, I love beating these people up. Cruel, I know, but I don't care. Hey, now, you can't blame us. We're working on grandkids as hard as we can. Shiny our receptive mid-sentence, mouth hanging open, face beat red. Shiny! Twilight yelled, grabbing her close over Nix's ears. Shining Armor face of his parents looked at his faux pas. Can't believe I said that out loud. So, working hard at it, is he? Twilight Velvet asked shyly, to tearing Keynes. Mother! Twilight said, scandalized, pressing her host more firmly over her only foal's ears. Keynes gave a scarce you got. You better believe it, she said, gentle voice. giving her red-faced husband a hip bump. Cadence! Twilight said, voice climbing a few octaves. Mom, you're hurting my ears, Nick complained. Shiny didn't even bother. He knew his family too well. Shall we go in? He said with a sigh. You can sit down, have some tea, scandalize the servants properly. Twilight, why are you doing that? She's already heard everything. Twilight growled, admitting defeat, and uncovered her child's ears. Come on, let's go to the drawing room. Mom and Dad can tell us exactly what brings them to the Crystal Empire. And I could tell our new granddaughter all about her mother and uncle when they were fools. Nightlight said, grinning around the stem of the cigarette holder. Why does he have a cigarette holder? Why is he smoking? Twilight rolled her eyes as she trailed her to her brother. This is going to be another long session of you telling those same old embarrassing stories about us, isn't it? Of course not, Pumpkin, Nightlight said gently. I got all sorts of brand new embarrassing stories about you, too. Tea was served in the drawing room by one Spike the Dragon. Some time was spent resting on the road and catching up with the family. And of course, one or two embarrassing, yet literally amusing childhood anecdotes before everybody finally managed to beat their way around to the subject at large. So, why exactly did you decide to vacation in the Crystal Empire? Kate said smilingly, sipping her caramel. The news reports, obviously, Shiny Nightlight said. He had discarded his hat, his sunglasses, and lousy bounty over his hair, regarding his children and granddaughter. We saw the first stories in the papers about Nyx, in the lost tomb, and the political changes. Twilight said soberly. True to form, the press parties had gotten the facts rather jumbled up. It was easy enough to figure out you were all facing some complications. Polly's trying to get up conspiracies and scandals over Nyx being in the palace and the like. What have you been saying at Camelot, then? Shining Armor asked. Nightlight waved his hoof expansively. Everything, he said. Everything and anything. Nyx is said to be the new heir to the Crystal Throne. Nyx is going to overrun the Crystal Throne. Nyx is a cat's paw for Celestia's real plan, or Luna's real plan, or Cadenz's real plan, which is to conquer the Crystal Empire from within, or to steal the lost secrets of the Hidden Tomb, or destroy the Hidden Tomb, or turn the Hidden Tomb into an amusement park attraction. He shrugged. Every conspiracy theory is not going to last. Nendozar does making noise about Nyx in general. Twilight Philbin added. I think every reporter in Equestria is joining at the prospect of doing a front-page story on the return of Nightmare Moon, or the re-return, as the case may be. She turned her teacup in her hose idly. It didn't take any super-secret parental knowledge to figure out that being here with Nyx was going to make what you're trying to do a great deal more difficult, in the present and away. That's the truth, Pumpkin, Nightlight said. Every reporter on the planet is going to try and climb up your plot. Dad! Twilight scolded. Full's a present. Nyx meekly sat and nibbled at Danis, trying to look obtrusive. This isn't your fault, Nyx, Twilight said firmly. Some ponies, she searched for the right words for a moment, some ponies just don't know when to let something go. She sighed. She looked at her parents. Does me or does Reality Check have a problem with the media? You're right, though. For the past few days, investigative reporters have been, well, hounding all of us. It's making doing any of the research impossible. Or anything else, Keynes added. Twilight nodded. Still, that doesn't tell us why you're here. I mean, I'm glad you came to show moral support and all, but what do you expect to do? Twilight, I've been a novelist since before you were born. Twilight Velvet said. You write books? Nick squeaked happily. Velvet chuckled. Yes, I most certainly do. She assured the bibliomaniac feely. I'll see if I can get you one of my books sometime. Anyway, I've been a novelist a very long time, and I've been dealing with publicity for ages. I think I know a few tricks for dealing with them. That's hardly the same situation as this, Shinar pointed out. Not like Charles. Maybe it slipped your mind, son. He said, but not too long ago, our youngest daughter became Princess Celestia's protege. Don't you remember what it was like, Shiny? Velvet said. Twilight was too young and too nose deep in her studies to notice, but well, no, you were out on a tour doing it at the time, weren't you? I suppose. But the moment word got out, we were hip deep in news hounds, speculators, opportunists, social climbers, and just plain out rubberneckers and snoops who wanted to gawk at the Philly protege and her family. We never had a moment's peace from them, till we finally learned a few tricks for dealing with such attention. Till your mother finally snapped and started going buck wild on a few of them. I only corrected in considerable amusement. I did not snap, Velvet protested. You climbed out on the roof of our house and started pelting the paparazzi with your great-grandmother's second-best china, that lady said. Let's call you at the ag anyway, Velvet said primly. I was impressed, Nightlight admitted to the others. She couldn't get much range out of the cups or sugar bowls, but she was right lethal with the saucers. Nailed Pegasus for the Cloudsdale Times while he was circling 100 feet over her head. Point being, Velvet interrupted, is that we both eventually learned the tactics for dealing with the press. You didn't spend your fillyhood being hounded by news reporters and the like, did you? Twilight Sparkle shook her head. Well, Velvet said triumphantly, who do you think kept it that way? We can't be much help for Shining and Cage, but we can at least help you and Nix keep the buzzards at bay. Nightly said, at the very least, we can help look at you next. Keep her out of the spotlight a little. Velvet added, you're going to be busy as a centipede with Poison Ivy, what with this lost tune business. Besides, we do want to make it for lost time with our granddaughter. She gave Nix a Twilight apologetic smile. No more Nightmare Moon worries? Twilight said. She could hardly be blamed for letting a little satisfaction creep into her voice. A few. Twilight Velvet admitted, sighing. She looked deeply into Nix's eyes. But I guess I decided I was being silly about them, whether or not they were true. I kept our distance because, well, even though everyone said Nix was a sweet little filly, and she is, she gave Nix a nuzzle. We were afraid she might turn back into what she had been. I guess I realized I was afraid Nix would grow up into Nightmare Moon. Frankly, there's nothing more than what any parent fears. Nix made a quizzical noise as Twilight cocked her head, at her daughter and granddaughter's puzzled looks. Twilight Velvet explained, every parent worries about what their children will grow up to be, girls, whether they say it or not, but you still love them all the same. You love them and teach them right and hope for the best. You don't let your fears keep you away. You are afraid I might grow up into Nightmare Moon? Twilight Sparkle said, cocking an eyebrow. You once turned us into blind plants, honey, Twilight Velvet said. It did cross my mind to worry that I was raising you right. She had a tizzy fit where she was convinced you were going to grow up, go mad with power, and turn the foliage into noble houses and temporary collection. Now I said, plainly talking of Biscotti and his tea, and pointedly ignoring the glare from his wife. Tizzy fit? Nix asked. Remember when Twilight lost her year player? Spike muttered. Makes me a sound. Oh, and nodded. Apparently the nut didn't fall from the tree. Anyway, I'm not going to let my worries make me miss out on my first granddaughter, Velvet said. Nightlight cast in his accumulated vacation time at the observatory, and I'm taking a semi-sabbatical. If you want, we can stay in the local hotel. If staying here is too much trouble. Shining Armor rolled his eyes and gave his mother an already serious look. No, we insist, he said in monotone. Really, Mother, we live in a house. Not finagle us for one of the greatest suites. Velvet can't grace to bless. Kate smiled. Well, it's a wonderful idea anyway, she said. All of us together for a change. You, me, your parents, your children, all three of them. Spike beamed at us. Despite all the fuss, it's good to have a family reunion. Let's hope it doesn't end like Applejack's did, Twilight said wryly. I'm not up to a barn raising, much less an entire castle. Oh, this is a story I had to hear, Keynes chuckled. Barn raising? Preceded by a barn flattening. Therein lies the tale. Nix listened to her grandmother, her family squeak. A chair on, happy and cozy. But she had two new grandparents. They seemed nice, if a little funny. Nicer than Granny Smith was, anyway. I heard doubts about them handling the newspaper gossips and all. Those ponies were awful. Persistent. They fished one out of Bentley ducks yesterday. Still, Nix could wait and see. In her own short life, she had already learned to never underestimate ponies just by first appearance. Grandpa Nightlight reminded her of Scootaloo. Like one of those ponies could do anything, no matter how crazy. He didn't care what anyone thought, except he thought their opinion was funny. There was something about Grandma Velvet that told Nix that, pretty and demure as she was formidably strong underneath, like flowering vines wrapped around castle trellis. And if they had a way to make those pestering ponies go away, maybe they could help Nix with her power problem. How to get Shining Armor his job back. Well, that sounds like a much more interesting plot than that stupid tomb thing!